Hello and welcome to the Rites of War Podcast. I'm the Miniatures Apothecary.
And I'm Horus.
And I'm the Foxy DM, aka Aaron.
So we have an Aaron here for this session. We don't have the Matt from Valhammer. We have the Aaron instead.
Yeah, we're kind of playing the role of Alfarius.
So...
It's like Alfarius, and then Omega shows up. I think that's what we're doing.
They are one and the same. So yeah. So we're going to get started actually with Aaron and his intro into the Horus heresy, I think.
Yeah, I mean, whew, man, I think I've been in it longer than you have, Apothecary. At least heresy-wise. But yeah, I guess I'll give the lore of the crazy fox guy on the internet. So yeah, I've been playing Warhammer since '97, mostly a lot of 3rd edition. Got into the books, of course, Horus Rising when they came out, and then I think it was like 2015. I got into actually playing Horus Heresy. I had a hard time picking my legion. There wasn't all the legions out at the time. So played a few different legions and went with the good old Luna Wolves. Probably seen my army on the internet. Making Iron Hands cry by the amount of tanks I have in an army, but but yeah, no, it was a really fun legion to kind of start, and it's the one I'm still growing. Kind of fit my kind of tactics. Just get in, brutally decapitate their HQ, and then just kill everything. And then I just do it with armor. So I can't argue with that.
So it's a good thing we've got him here tonight, then, isn't it, Mort? Seeing as though you decided we should have a bit of a focus on Sons of Horus.
Who spoke last time? I mean, the iconic book. The first Horus Rising is, I mean, we've all read it a few times, and
yeah,
everyone likes to either play or meet Sons of Horus just because they are the really iconic traitors.
Yeah.
Yep, 100%. I 100% agree, because it's just like, because I play both traitor and loyalist. I play like loyalist and also my brutal traitor sons. They're just a fun army, and like the miniatures look great because they have that influence of like gangers, but you know, like brutal barbarians. Like they got Rome-esque kind of like gold chains, gold dipped skulls. Like it looks brutal. It's like that's the icon of it, of the heresy.
And also, I like the fact that they were the most successful and most revered legion before they fell. I mean, everyone was looking up towards the Luna Wolves or Sons of Horus due to their victories and prowess in combat.
Yeah, I think that's where the draw comes from me as well. They were they were very much revered and looked up to in many regards, and so they fell. But before we get into the main topic, so do you want to do a quick hobby run round of what everyone's been up to heresy-wise since the last episode?
Since the last episode, I've done a few Dark Angels, actually.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do this Eschatarion Rite of War stuff, so I've done 10 destroyers and a navigator and 10 of those plasma dudes. Inter whatever.
Are you sure it's a navigator? You didn't sound too sure about
that.
Well,
the navigator is he's a douche move.
It's such a good unit.
Yeah, because the Eschatarion imperative gives you stasis grenades, so you can give your opponent 1 in initiative, and the navigator can template you with the 3rd eye of death.
It's a naughty combination.
So everyone dies. Yes, it is. It's reserved for
right. Okay. Yeah.
that guy.
When you know you're going to face that guy. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can reciprocate with that one. I, on the other hand, have not been done so much heresy. I've got the last of the Sons of Horus Praetors finished, or the last one, should I say? And like a Imperial Fist Breacher in preparation for Rand's release.
It's good practice.
Yeah, and that's it. Unfortunately, not much or heresy painting for me recently.
I mean, that's way better than me. Yeah, I look at my pile of shame and cry inside as it grows. Sorry, pile of opportunity here. Let's see. But I have been. I've just been quiet about it. I have been working on some stuff. I'm changing my office. I'm repairing. I got to repair my army. So I'm doing a lot of touch-ups on what I can work on before I get into building some more Luna Wolves. Gotta outnumber everyone. There's another guy in there's a famous Sons of Horus army in Canada that one day me and him are gonna have a game, but I gotta somehow match his army, and I think he's got like half a chapter, like 500 plus guys, so I gotta.
Oh, is that who
Yes.
I think it is? Yeah. I can't remember his name, but I know who you're on about. I love his army.
Yeah, I think it's. I'm trying to remember which battalion he called it. It is.
The Ouch Battalion.
It is the Sons of Horus 65th Company Ash Jackals. The 65th Company, the 33rd Battalion. Great guy to talk to. His is the premier heresy army, I think. By just mass, absolute mass. But like all of them have characters, and like he took like a different character arc from both the trading card game that used to be out, and also I think it was like Age of Visions, like those old books that you used to get before we got like our main Horus Heresy kind of like lore.
Yeah.
So his army is just spectacular. Yeah, so I think he's in a couple provinces away. But yeah, no. I feel bad because someone actually outnumbers me, and I can't let that happen. I got to represent the 16th Legion.
It's the numbers game. Is it?
Bragging rights, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that one. Definitely. Okay, so
What else are you going to need to get the bragging rights?
Oh, so much more infantry.
Yeah. It's up there. I mean, I know I've showed off photos. The guy's got at least 500. So when I'm done, I'll at least be at, I think, about 300. I got over 100 Marines right now, fully painted up. But yeah, no.
We're looking at some serious badge painting.
Yeah, and it's all white, so I don't know how much whiskey I'm gonna need to make it through it, but it should be a sizable amount, I think.
White's not that bad to do. I'm sorry to any viewers for the string of insults that are about to come flying my way.
Yeah, it just if you need to find them before you insult them, just reach out to the Foxy DM on Twitter, and I will be helped to either send those messages along. I do have his address. I will send mail. Just don't send pipe bombs, okay?
I was half expecting them coming from you, to be honest, mate.
No, you said I must behave. I have to behave today, so I'll be nice. I'll be nice for now. But don't worry, I'll be writing a very thorough, direct message to you. Or I go for the killing stroke, you know.
Hey, to be fair, there's a few members of the channel's Discord that have joined, and they are excellent painters of white. I must admit, it's really nice. Quite refreshing to see. But anyway, before those insults become death threats. So, focus of tonight is actually 16th then. So where do we want to start?
Ooh, that's a tough. Do we go the lore or do we go the rules? Because both are great.
I'm kind of inclined to say lore.
Lore?
Like which
lore?
aspect? Okay, so all right. So there's the starting pick. So which aspect of the 16th is it that you find most appealing?
Oh, just from a lore perspective?
Yeah.
Oh man. Here's the thing. I love the whole biblical, like these were the rising sun. Like Horus has that whole like grand archangel Lucifer kind of thing, greatest archangel, and then he does the fall. I love it. But I also love the fact of like Isvan and the whole like last stand. It's just like, oh, we were condemned to death. Nah. The loyalists are just holding out to the bitter end. It's kind of why I did my Luna Wolves, so
Wait,
even before
2 months, 3 months they held out.
I think almost a year. I think it was a long time. It was brutal, and I mean there were some survivors left over even when they moved on. If you read some of the black books, there was a few survivors that actually got picked up and they went to the other Ispan too.
Yeah,
neat little fact.
There's a little factoid.
Yeah, and like when you read the lore, you also learn like you can make whatever you want from the army because it was very practical. Like Horus had this whole idea that his army should just be, if I send it's just a company element. Didn't really do battalions, didn't do chapters, didn't do that. He just kind of got rid of that. It was always practical. If he saw something, he added it.
Yeah.
They did an example of where Horus was with Rogel Dorn, and during it, like breacher squads were relatively low in the Legion, but after watching the Imperial Fists, just using a whole lot of breachers, the number of units actually rose quite a bit. They were always willing to embrace the new thing. So pretty much the idea is they had everyone thinks it's just drop HUDs, but no, they took everything. It just, it was practical. If it worked to kill something quickly and efficiently, that's what they did.
Yeah, there was always that thing about them being highly adaptive. And like rolling with the changes and stuff, weren't they?
Yeah, and I mean they were, they were the first kind of Legion to really embrace tactical dreadnought armor, so Terminator armor, and that's why they became so well equipped with it. Developing the tactics for it. But like, I mean, at the end of the day, though, a lot of their base unit was tactical squads, despoiler squads, and then Reaver squads. Just a base unit. They just threw it out there and they just knew it would work.
Yeah. Mark, what about you?
I'm more into not the lodges, but their gatherings of officers that sort of what were they called?
Oh, the Moraville, the like 4 advisors to Horus. Yeah, those were.
Yeah, I mean, and the intrigues that they have, and it adds a big flavor to into the entire series, just having those what do you say, power factions in between. You can play a lot with those when you're building your army. So I like that element in it.
I think mine was always a mix of like the lore aspect, and at the time, like, I think first getting involved, like the time it was very much the lore around them, and then it became a little bit more about the rules, and then like over time it's sort of mixed into a 50-50 between like the rules and the lore, because they were both very different, and I don't know, I think different's the right word. I found them both very interesting, especially out of like the rules that were released for like the first lot of legions that we got. They were possibly my favourite set of rules for them, and then obviously there was the lore side of things as well. Particularly when you look at like the first couple of books, because
but you also have the side when you start into heresy, you know that the Black Legion came from the Sons of Horus, and they are the baddest of the bad when you started out from 40k.
Yeah.
They are the great treasures.
I found,
and then you get a little bit of a surprise how they actually were in the beginning.
Yeah, I spoke to someone a while ago, and I'd introduced them to the books, and they knew about the Black Legion. They play predominantly Acadians. And they were like, I found it really hard. They said to me they found it really hard to read the books. And I was like, why? It was like, because you start off knowing that these are the bad guys. You know, these are what make the Black Legion, and then you read them, and it's like it's really hard to dislike them at first in the first two books, because the characters are so appealing. They're interesting and in their own right. They're funny, or you know, that you can draw some form of connection to certain characters. I always liked Abaddon.
Yeah, like when like they're doing the assault, like the initial assault on the palace there, like the whole like this like friendly banter. You know, between these, like, effectively, like, someone we know that is, like, you know, normally anyone fails, anyone tries to get ahead of him, he just kills them. But then, like, this banter, you know, and betting, and, you know, this kind of, like, brotherhood, you know, like, these guys are ready to fight and, you know, win the day. It's just interesting. And, like, they're...
But what are they rising up against, actually?
Yeah.
They're rising up against an Altarian maniac, which is the Emperor. So they could be good guys in any book. Well, except that they ally with demons, which everyone thinks is kind of bad in the end. But for starters, it's more of a, what do you say, they rise against the tyrant, and then they become tyrants of their own.
Yeah, I get that. I think the guy I mentioned earlier, like, I think from his perspective,
like,
it's like, because he's only ever played 40k and never really looked into like the background or the lore, the backstory as to like how they became the way that they are. So it was very easy. It's very easy for him to like just say, "Oh well, they're the bad guys." And you still get that now, like, even though it's pretty easy to see that there is no good guys or bad guys in 40k, it's various shades of grey, that they still could be considered the bad guys, so to speak. But yeah, there's always that thing I think that's why I think that the first line, like I was there the day Horus slew the Emperor. I think that's why it's such a statement that draws you in because of that statement. If that makes sense, makes sense in my head.
Yeah, it was so cool, and also just reading just like how you go from those books and 50 books later, and then you get into the Siege, like even how some of the legionary, like some of the legions, like what are we doing now? Like this wasn't what we signed up for, you know. And like even Abaddon, like he loved Horus, but then at the end of it, it's not the same. Like, you know, Abaddon wants to die in combat against actual legionaries, you know, have a good fight, but it's denied it. And, you know, you just kind of see this loss kind of, like everyone loses at the end of it, but you can see how everyone falls. Even how, like...
Yeah, the Horus Heresy is the timeline itself is just a big tragedy.
Yeah. There's no winners or losers in that period of time, is there? Let's face it.
I think everyone's losers. Really, everyone lost. No one won.
Everyone lost. Yeah. Everyone definitely lost. Okay, so from less of a lore standpoint, more of a tabletop standpoint, I know why I find them, like why I enjoy them from a tabletop point of view, but I'm curious to hear Mort's. I know what Aaron's is, because this is something me and Aaron have discussed, but I'd like to hear Mort's impression on it.
I like them due to they have a lot of not game breaking but cool rules. The chain access on the reavers and the outflank of the foot slogging reavers, and you can have a fast strike force. You always, when you face them, you're always afraid of those Justarians just coming down with their multi-meltas and 2 wounds, and you know they're coming. You just have to be ready to take the first strike, try to survive, and hope that you can bring something back. So they're not an auto win, but they have some good rules that they can, if you can utilize them, they're really, really good.
Yeah. Okay, that was just a lot simpler explanation than what I was expecting. Not gonna lie.
Okay.
Well, that's it. I mean, more like and knuckle crack. Well then.
Yeah. No, but you can. I mean, you can talk about army builds and what shenanigans that works with what, but that's just a rough impression of the Sons of Horus. They're fast. They're fast at the first strike. You have to wear it out and try to grind them down.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
So I'll stop there.
Go on, Nate. Go on, Nate. Sorry, go on, Aaron. For the viewers, what's yours?
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I played the Sons of Horus rules before they got all their updated ones. Like Janissaries only had 1 wounds. We didn't get our. We had Merciless Fighters, which is always such a great rule. You outnumber them, you get another attack at initiative 1. But we didn't get the +1 ballistic skill back in the day. Like the army, yeah, Elfish Strike, it works really well. I mean, outflanking Reavers. I mean, you get your rerolls on your reserves, so you're very consistent. But you can get so many like degrees of punches, like even with your Rite of Wars. Like you can go a full infantry slogfest where you're getting rerolls after rerolls to charge in. You get more attacks and more rerolls by just swarming. So it's very fluffy. But why I like it is no matter what, you with the Sons of Horus, you want to get in close 12 inches is the kill zone. It's beautiful. You're going to kill things no matter what. So you could either go like I personally do. You can just rip apart like pieces off of the army, you know, making it so that like all their troops are a little weaker before you go for the killing blow. Or you can do that Alpha Strike. I mean, all your veterans, your Terminators, Reavers can all get without a Rite of War the Assault Claws. So you can have that deep striking force right off the bat. Just go for the throat and gut them while the rest of the force comes in. Or you can be the late push where you just kind of wear them down, and then once you got your assault set up, then you go in and gun them, and you just kill them. Because like even your basic tacticals, they're brutal. I mean, within 12 inches, ballistic skill 5 bolters. I mean, a 20-man squad, it's going to hurt.
Yeah, I'm fully in agreement. I guess that's the end of the episode then, yeah? I'm fully in agreement there. I think it's the diversity of the way you can play. I mean, I know you can play pretty much each Legion in a variety of different ways. I just feel like the Sons of Horus have more variety. That, and I'm a complete foot slogger at heart, you know. Give me an army of infantry that I can just run across the table, I'm happy.
Yeah, and then, like,
foot slogging, you have the what is it, Malgohurst, that gives heavy weapons relentless in their own deployment.
Oh, yeah.
That is an amazing rule for the heavy weapons.
And then if you just add certain Rite of Wars to it, too, what is it, the March on Terra? Where you get bonuses depending where you are, like either in your deployments or theirs. So it's just a brutal slog.
That one, the one you're referring to, works really well for. I think it is the March on Terror one, where it's like it's in the enemy's deployment for like alpha striking, things like that. It's disgusting. Like I think I ran the numbers one night, and it was just. Yeah, 50% of it. You could demolish 50% of an army in one turn quite easily. Yeah. Granted, that's the dice gods willing. You could do that, but it's a plausible. I put my teeth back in. It's a possibility outcome or possible outcome.
Yeah, and like, see, here's like a neat thing that I like about the Legion. Your base units, like even your specialty units, are just an upgraded of the basic troops, you know. And the whole idea is the basic part of the army is just going to be it's just going to claw its way through and rip throats out. And they're not that expensive, like any of the units. I mean, a 20-man tactical squad compared to, say, like an Emperor's Children 20-man tactical squad. We cost the same, but if I outnumber them, I get within 12. The Imperial's Children are going to have a rough time. Absolutely rough time.
See, I like the Reavers and stuff. I really like their units. They look so cool.
Yep. And I mean, like, I think Reavers, like for 5 of them, you know, 2 attacks base plus additional close combat weapons. I mean, that's 135 points, and they cost like 15 points extra. You have a 15-man squad. They're going for broke.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And built-in outflank. You can give them jump packs. Like you can outfit a Reaver squad, I think, a little cheaper than an assault marine squad, and the Reavers are going to just come out on top.
Yeah, but there's like not a lot in it neither, is there? Like you can make a Reaver squad with jump packs and all kitted out, and then they're cheaper in it, and just dish out so much more damage.
And you also have that the Bane Strike.
Oh, Bane Strike bolters, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they're about 5 points per bolt, but they can't prove effective.
Yeah, I think like
there's quite a few legions that have those like specialist rounds and stuff, and most of them are not really worth taking. But yeah, Bane Striker, definitely an interesting little addition, I must admit.
Yeah, they're just a cheap extra, weapon. I mean, on Reavers, I think it's 2 points per bolter that you add to the squad. 5.
5.
5. Oh,
Yeah, 5.
That's still cheap. That's still cheap for.
In comparison to some other stuff, yeah, that's still cheap.
Yeah. And the fact that you're coming in because you're going to get up close. It's an outflanking unit. So you're going to get close to a unit. You're going to be within 12. They're going to be hitting on 2s with ballistic skill 5. And I mean, if then you can follow up with an assault. Or they'll try to assault you and then you outnumber them. You got chain axes. You got... It's just good. They're going to have a rough time, the enemy.
Yeah, you can kit them really expensive too, if you want to.
Yeah, I mean you could have the whole unit have Volcolite chargers, combi bolters, like
power axes.
Yeah, that's actually very true. Power axes, power swords, power fists. If you want to just go a 15-man power fist unit, I mean.
Got ham.
Well, now we're talking about too expensive for a unit with 3+ armor, in my book. But you could put them in the Dreadclaw to make them go exactly where you want them and be that surgical strike force.
Surgical strike, but with fists instead.
Well, no one said the surgeon just had a scalpel.
No, they did not. No, that is a very good point.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's kind of scary. I don't know. I'm just trying to imagine a 15-man Reaver squad with combi weapons and then 15 power fists. I mean, it would be an expensive unit no matter what, and it may never get its points, but your opponent just being like, what the hell is that? Yeah. It would be priceless for the first match.
Say, how much do you want to make that unit now?
Oh, hold on. I'll figure out the math.
See, going back to what Aaron was saying earlier, the aesthetic of the units as well is really appealing. Like, I know we only really get to see, like, we've got 4 characters? 4 characters from now, and 2 specialist units. That's really all we see for that sort of that aesthetic. But it's still, out of them, it's quite nice, I must admit.
All right, I've done the math. This is before you also give them jump packs.
Here he comes.
So, 15 Reavers, all with combi meltas, all with power fists, and this is a 15-man squad. 660 points.
Ooh.
It will never get its points back, but man, I kind of want to do it.
The only time I could ever imagine something like that getting its points back would be over an apocalypse, over the space of an apocalypse game.
Or killing a Primarch.
Oh, killing a Primarch, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with some really, really, really good rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, anything you're gonna hit is destroyed. That's
Yeah. I mean, just, I don't know, make it 15 plasma guns, deep strike them in, just shoot it and then just be like, okay, charge me. I don't care.
Basically a unit of watchers.
Yeah, I mean, 30 plasma shots at, ballistic skill 5. I mean, come on.
Bring it.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's what I like about it. That's the rules. You can take, even a tactical support squad I mean, it doesn't cost extra for an expensive unit of, say, 10 plasma guns or 10 melta guns, but they're hitting at, they're hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's big buff, actually.
Yeah.
That is a big buff.
Yeah. At a range, you're gonna go in. Like, I've to this day, I've never seen a Sons of Horus, 16th Legion ever sit back. It's always in your face. So you're going to get to within 12 inches to get that roll. If you're not, something's gone wrong.
I don't know. Like one of the few games I've had, the Apocalypse one that we spoke about previously.
Yes.
I sat back for a little while, but if anything, that was just to draw them in closer, so I didn't get bombarded to hell, moving through all that open terrain. But yeah, you kind of want to keep moving, don't you? Really, when you're fielding that much.
Yeah, like I mean, I could see like someone trying to do like a garrison force, like in the bunkers. If they were the defender, I guess I could see it. But like, then the attackers probably, unless it's like, I don't know, a solar auxiliary army or a militia army, who might not charge in. But that's the only time I don't see the two rules going off. But then you don't have a downside. You may not be using your rules, but you don't have a downside.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay. Well, seeing as though we are talking about rules, what about lists?
I mean, but you have the auto-include just there in Terminators, right?
What would be your...
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, either you do it as a sort of command squad for your Praetor, or just have them drop down and be nasty.
Yeah. Well, the Janissaries, there's like a couple ways to give the Janissaries deep strike. Like you can put them in a Dreadclaw. The Janissaries count as scoring, but like I think one of my favorite things to do: 10 Janissaries, Horus, deep strike, don't scatter. 2 meltas in there, and all combi bolters. You're gonna kill whatever you're going in.
Cheaper option, you use a Warmongerer with them.
Yeah.
Give them the deep strike, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you could do the Warmonger. You can also bring Abaddon if you want to go for a first company vibe. And Abaddon's pretty cheap as an HQ. Not the greatest, but he's cheap. Like, what he does.
Yeah. 215?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, for like a Praetor with not all the stats, he's pretty good. He also gives him Fearless, which is big. And I think he gets to reroll his Deep Strike, or reroll the results on a Deep Strike mishap table, which is big. So,
you said, do you not have like the book open there and then in front of you?
Yeah. I'm also going through like.
If I weren't painting, I would.
Yeah. So like Abaddon, 215, weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 5, strength 4, toughness 4, 3 wounds, initiative 5, 4 attacks. 2 up, 4 up, involve, relentless, teleport, assault. May deep strike. Additionally, they reroll results on deep strike, and then he's get the whatchamacallit. If there's a campaign where characters are removed as casualties, he can reroll that. And then his warlord trait, I think, is intimidating presence, which I do not, for the life of me, remember.
Yeah, so he has a small plot armor, but I mean, deep strike. Most people fear deep strike.
Yeah,
it's a big thing, isn't it? And like, not everything in 30k can deep strike.
No. That was not what I meant. I meant that people fear using it due to mishap.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't ever think I've seen a true mishap.
I've seen it.
Same. I've only ever seen like they go off target, like they land a couple of inches away from.
Yeah, but that's survivable. It's not like you're gonna delete the unit.
No.
I've seen it. I've seen it just terribly happen. A buddy of mine ran Imperial Fists. He ran a drop potting Imperial Fist army. Yeah, he lost like 2 Terminator squads, all wiped out.
That's the game. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3k. That was like most of his army right there. Yeah.
That's rough. But that's the risk you take, isn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, you get the reroll, and I mean, I don't know. I personally will always attempt the deep strike.
Yeah.
It's a gamble, but the gamble usually pulls off. Like Bart says, usually you don't mishap, or at least it's not.
But you think about what units you're deep striking as well. At the end of the day, like if it pays off, those are some nasty units.
Oh yeah. I mean, a 10-man Janissaries, either with a Moormonger or a Fearless, or there's Horus and they're Fearless. Just like good luck.
But if we are talking about taking Primarchs, it's a whole different game actually, because one, they usually pack a punch, and they also give the armies a lot of beneficiaries from just being on the field.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Horus is big. He's a scary Primarch. I love using him. Absolutely love using him. I mean, he makes Janissaries and veteran tacticals troop choices. Any of his units get outflank when he's on the table. All of them get a +1 leadership. He can seize the initiative on a 4-up. He can call down.
Yeah, that's always the clincher for me. Is that like 4-up? Oh yeah, we'll have him.
Yeah. I mean, he can call down an orbital bombardment with the Lance rule and its twin linked and strength 10 AP2. Like, that's going to hurt. And then he's just a beast in close combat. I mean, if he's next to regular Marines, he gets D3 extra attacks. He already has 5 attacks to start. You charge it in, you're getting 9 attacks.
Yeah. He's fairly gnarly.
Yeah.
Well, it's the iconic traitor. It's the big guy.
I think he's until I actually sit down and paint him. I find as a model though he's a very intimidating model to paint.
That's a poster boy. I mean,
yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the model in the flesh. I've had it in my hands, and I've looked at it, and I've gone, "Ooh, wow!" It's like that is one intimidating
so
model.
Gorgeous though. Like I got mine as a gift, and it was painted up by Little Legend Studio. Oh, it is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Like seeing the model even before paint, the details that's on it, you can tell that he's, used to lead the Luna Wolves. You can see like all this customization on the armor, and he was one of the earlier Primarchs that came out too. Just the detail on it's great, and that pose of him, like when you put him on his scenic base, it's just gorgeous. I mean, he towers over everything. It looks like he's just literally issuing a command, like go forward and kill.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. It's just, yeah. A friend of mine used to have one. I picked it. He was like, "Yeah, you can have a look." And I picked him up off the shelf, and I was like, "Oh, that's a scary model." Where the heck would I start?
Yeah, but he's needed. If you run a Trader Sons of Horus force, you gotta get a Primarch.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. And I might still at some point. I might get him at some point. He might just sit on the shelf for a couple of weeks or months before I actually get around to tackling him.
No, you should change that might into yes. That's all you should be. I mean, I've got
a Baden and Loken to sort out yet.
Oh, those are also gorgeous. I like the scenic base that they come on.
Yep.
Just get a feeling for that moment in the book of them just hating each other and just going at each other's throats, fighting over the ruins.
I kind of want to find a day to just sit down and just paint them, but I haven't had a day to do it yet. It will come. It will happen.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it because you're gonna paint your Loken in what, Sons of Horus colors?
Yeah. He's gonna be in Sons of Horus colours. At a later date, I might get my hands on a second Loken and do it in Lunar Wolves colours. But yeah, I'm gonna do them as. I'm gonna try and do a nice mix as well. So Loken might have a bit more, might have some, not to the extent I've done with like my 40k stuff with mass amounts of battle damage, but I will be adding some to Loken, and then maybe just like a little bit of dust to Abaddon, just to sort of emphasise the fact that one's been on the planet fighting for a couple of months and the other one hasn't.
That's cool. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. You know what? The thing I would recommend, because I think you'll be able to pull it off, is when you do the Sons of Horus one, because you hear stuff in like the book how the paint didn't fully fade off. Put some like Ludewald's white underneath it, like on some of the scratch marks and all that.
Yeah,
just to show that it's still underneath.
That. Yeah, I had thought about doing like the occasional, like every other chip or something like that might show a little bit of white coming through. I find like painting Sons of Horus as well is relatively easy. Like it's a really nice color, and it's easy to like get that color as well.
Well, I think nowadays you have a lot more. Like if we're just talking GW Cathedral Citadel, I mean you have so many options.
Yeah.
Where before it was like a really weird way to do it. I forget how they used to do it. All I know is I just wouldn't attempt it. That's why I paid someone to do my initial Sons of Horus.
The Forge World recipe, that was crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, the Forge World recipe. I think that's what you're referring to, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the Forge World recipe was complicated.
Yeah, and like there was another Forge World like on the 30k Heresy forums, like back in the day. There was someone who got the another recipe from the Forge World staff, and that's also crazy. It just like I don't know what it is about them. They always just went ham. They're like, well, you got to add in a pint of this and blood of a goat, and somehow this will turn out right. And you're like, what?
And then you're gonna paint like at least 40 tacticals / reavers, whatever. I mean, you need 40-50 bodies.
Yeah.
You don't want that complicated scheme that you really can't replicate.
Yeah. But I mean, you could do some weird armies, so you don't have to do like bulk. I mean, you could do it all Terminator Force, like there was in, let me see, I think it was book 4, Conquest, where they're talking about like elite Terminator units, but not Janissaries that were staged on the Vengeful Spirit. I mean, you could probably do the green in that with some of the black, and it'll turn out very nice.
Yeah, I must admit I did some Tartarus in the green, and they look quite nice and rather intimidating as well.
Yeah, it's also such a great armor. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I mean, it also depends. If you're going for black, you can always choose black, gray, and that's it. But if you want some more vibrant colors, you need to add something more like green or violet or blue.
Yeah.
Because black is not just black and gray.
Yeah.
It's a lot of other colors mixing up.
Yeah, that's very true. That is
Yeah,
very
if you
true.
move on from just Citadel colours, you've got a lot of other options, like heavy washes and inks and stuff to like make that black, but make it more colourful.
Yep. Or if you are using an airbrush, that was what I was supposed to say, right? Not using your airbrush. If you're using an airbrush, you can always do a solar flare with either purple or blue to
Yeah.
more warmth, or cold if you're using cold blue.
Yeah. Which is an amazing, like effect. Is that?
Yeah.
Seen it used on a few different models over the last couple of months, particularly, and it's a really nice effect, I must admit. Okay, so because we haven't got much longer now, so I was going to say, final thoughts for anyone out there, any of the viewers who are thinking of going down the traitorous route that is the Sons of Horus.
You should do it. You should commit to it fully. Don't look back. If anyone tells you another legion's better, just pull out this thing and point to Horus heresy, and they will understand. You know.
Okay, I would say like always,
they're
read
just-
up, build a list. I mean, Battlescribe is for free, so build a list and stick to it. Start with 1,000 points and go upwards. Don't forget that the Trusty Rhino is one of the cheapest and most viable options for transporting your troops.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I would start with at least 10 Reavers and 20 Marines and 5 Justarians.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
That's a solid backbone of your force, and you can build on after that. And I mean, if you really want to go versatile, magnetize a few of your tactical marines so you can kit them out as veterans. If you want to do Pride of the Legion for a easy Rite of War with the Justarians and 1 veteran squad, you're golden.
I think I'd have to say,
Yeah, that's
Mort kind of hit it on the head. Don't forget your rhinos. Have fun with it. Have fun with possibly one of the funnest legions out there.
Yep. As someone who's got both loyalist traders and is not stopping at 10k points. Yeah, no, just go ham. Pick a thing. Like you can pick. Like I did armor. So Mort said it right. Rhinos are cheap. They're great. But oh my god, kid, is it fun dropping 4 rhinos and 40 guys at 12 inches and just decapitating and murdering? Or you could do a drop pod, or you could do it all Terminators. The Legion.
Oh yeah, drop pods. For me, drop pods are the win.
Yeah. Or you can even go crazy and just do I think it's the armor company where instead of rhinos you can take land raiders, so now you have an assault vehicle for your 10-man tactical squad.
Okay, so suffice to say that the final thoughts on the 16th in particular are varied.
But they're up close and personal, and you need to get there. You're not going there foot slogging.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Yeah. You can get there 1,000 ways, and you're gonna be brutal 1,101. Yeah, just get up there, get close, decapitate them. Dip their skulls in gold after. Maybe don't do it to your actual opponent. But
No. That's no. Don't do that.
Pretty sure you get banned at the
Don't do
event
that.
you're at. So.
Oh yeah. You'll definitely get banned. And
I don't want us being,
us being the reason. But the guys over at the Rites of War podcast said to do it. No, we did not.
Context.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. And also not good.
2 episodes in,
Yep.
gentlemen, we get cancelled.
All because we were talking about the Grey Traders. Yep, makes sense. Checks out.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. It has been a pleasure as always. I hope you've all enjoyed it. And fingers crossed, we will be back with another episode next month for more Horus Heresy. And all 4 of the presenters will be present, hopefully. So, yeah, thanks again. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
See ya.